Hello, software development friends. We are back. We are back with our ATM simulation system. For those who are not here from the previous tutorial, what we are doing is that we are trying to simulate an ATM where we enter the username here, or what we should have been an account number, but we have a small database here where items are picked from. So let's take Zadok as an example still. Zadok, his password is 123, and then we will be asked which transaction we want to make. For withdraw, maybe press 3, and shall press 3. We'll be asked how much amount we want to withdraw, and we say maybe 50,000. Okay, and it will show us the balance. Let's look at the model. What we have here is the model where we have the customer name, password, balance, and then we create a constructor. This constructor is passed to different classes. For example, here it was passed after a successful login. It was passed. So nothing so much. Maybe we look at the getters and setters. The most important getter here will be the one of get balance, because we are not going to create a method for getting balance. We shall just call this getter here. Then for transactions, let's look at transactions here. The methods where the business is taking place. So the SQL is here. We are basically updating. The SQL is updating, and it will set balance, picks the current balance, adds this amount here, this amount you'd have passed here, okay, and then it adds it there. So basically that's it, and then we execute it. If indeed it is successful, if the customer has been able to deposit, then we shall get balance is equal to customer's balance. Remember here, what I had not talked about is that we are passing the whole class or the whole object here of class customer detail. I was asked a few questions about this, how you pass a whole object like this. Yes, we are passing this whole object here. So here we are able to read customer.getBalance, this one here, plus the amount. This is now the balance we have. We will return it here. The other method we have here is for withdraw, still similar. The biggest change here is that we are deducting balance is equal to balance minus whatever would have passed here as an amount. And then where this customer here is customer.getCustomerName. Remember, as I said, we are passing this here, this whole object here, and then we return a message for the user. The other one, not so important for us, is the greeting, because every time you run this, it will send a greeting. Let me again run Zadok. One, two, three. We will get a greeting. Okay. Good afternoon, because I'm doing this at around 4. Now let's look at the main method. The main method, we start with capturing user input. So in Java, this is the class that captures user input. So we print out this message here, and then we create variable user here, and then we store it. We also create a variable of int type, create an object of transactions. We call it trans. So remember that transactions here is the one that is having this method that we've just talked about. We create its object, and then we also create object authentication right there, and we create an object of customer, this one here, this customer here, okay, this we call it customer, but it is returning this method here. Remember this method here, then in authentication, because it is returning authentication dot get user. Remember this method here returns an object of customer. So yes, here we return this one here, and then we capture. Remember this method here captures a string and an integer, a string user and password right here. So that's what it captures. And then we check to see if the customer is not null. If indeed there is a customer in there, then we run these ones here. So we first capture salutation. If customer is true, we run transaction. Remember, we run salutation. Salute. Remember the greeting. After greeting, then we put this in a try and catch, and we use a switch option here. So in case someone presses 1, like we saw here, because we told them for balance check, press 1. In case someone presses 1, we call this method here, get balance. In case 2, we call this method here. In case someone presses 2, that is for deposit, we call this method here, deposit. Remember, it takes in a customer, which we created right here, there, and then whatever deposit which we capture using user input here, and so on and so forth. So that's how it works. At the end of this, we shall be able to answer some questions here. In our next series, in our next one, we shall be answering these questions here using this very program. What is Java? What is a class? What is an object? All these questions here we shall answer.